If you have ever been to Angola, or even if you haven't, this is for you. Today we are going to talk about one of the most historical places in Angola. If you don't know where it is, no worries. We've got you covered with the location right here. Welcome back, guys, to another exciting episode. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you will be notified every time we upload a new video. And if you have already subscribed, thank you very much. Really appreciate your support. Today we are going to talk about one of the most historical places in Angola. It is called Fortaleza de S. Miguel. We will get to it in just a minute, but first let me show you this map. You can see how it is located in Luanda, the capital city of Angola. Luanda is known as one of the most expensive cities in the world. In 2013, Luanda was named the world's most expensive city by the Economist Intelligence Unit. This is a leading indicator that shows how Luanda is more developed than other parts of the country. However, according to the United Nations, around 70% of people in Luanda live in extreme poverty. The name of the country, Angola, actually comes from the name of the Kingdom of Congo's main trading post, which was called Angola. The Europeans were aware of the Kingdom of Congo long before they ever set foot in the area. The Portuguese started trading with the kingdom during the 15th century, when they became aware of the immense wealth of the place. But many centuries later, they decided to take what they wanted instead of asking for it. They invaded and conquered Angola. Since then, Angola has been fighting to be free from any foreign powers. Throughout history, there have been many attempts by different colonial powers to invade Luanda, but they have all failed. One of these attempts was done by the Dutch, who attacked Luanda in 1648 and took over until 1651. After this, the Portuguese realized that they had to do something to protect their colony. That's why they built a fort. This fort was built between 1671 and 1696, and its name was Fortaleza de S. Miguel, or Fort St. Michael. The construction was ordered by the Portuguese Governor-General, Antonio de Noronha. The fort was built by a team of engineers under the supervision of a military officer, Caetano de Sotomayor. The reason why they built this fort was to protect the city of Luanda from outside attacks. They also wanted to use the fort as a prison for criminals and people who broke the law. The construction of the fortress walls was finished in 1696. They were made of brick and covered with white lime. This made the fortress almost impenetrable. The entrance to the fortress was through a large door made of wood and iron. The door was decorated with the coat of arms of Portugal in the year 1696. Inside the fortress, there were barracks for soldiers, a chapel, a prison, and a gunpowder storehouse. The fortress also had a moat and a drawbridge. The moat was filled with water from the Atlantic Ocean and was used to protect the fortress from invaders. The drawbridge was raised whenever an attack was imminent. In the early days, the fortress was guarded by soldiers of the Portuguese army. However, as the years went by, the fort was manned by slaves. The slaves were brought from Africa and forced to work in the sugarcane fields of Angola. When the Portuguese realized that they could make money off of these slaves, they started selling them to the highest bidder. As a result, the number of slaves in Angola grew exponentially. By the end of the 19th century, there were more slaves in Angola than free people. This caused many problems for the Portuguese because the slaves were not happy with their situation. They revolted several times, but the Portuguese army put down all the rebellions. In 1910, Portugal became a republic, but this did not change anything for the slaves in Angola. They were still forced to work in the sugarcane fields and were not allowed to go anywhere without permission. It wasn't until 1926 when the Portuguese government passed a law that ended slavery in Angola. By this time, the fort had fallen into disrepair. The barracks were in ruins, and the chapel had collapsed. The Portuguese government decided to turn the fort into a museum. After Angola gained independence from Portugal in 1975, the government of Angola took over the museum. For a while, the fort was used as a military barracks again, but in 1992, it was once again turned into a museum. Today, the fortress is a popular tourist attraction in Angola. People come from all over the country and abroad to visit this historic site. The fortress is open to the public from Tuesday to Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is free on Sundays. The fortress is also used for special events such as concerts and festivals. Fortaleza des Miguel is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In 2011, the fortress was added to the list of World Heritage Sites in danger by UNESCO because of its poor state of preservation. However, in 2014, the fortress was removed from the list after the Angolan government invested a lot of money into restoring the site. So what can you see inside? You can see a collection of cannons, some dating back to the 16th century. There are also exhibits on the history of slavery in Angola. The museum also has a library and an auditorium. The fortress has a cafe where you can buy food and drinks. You can also climb to the top of the fortress walls for a panoramic view of Luanda. If you're interested in visiting Angola, I would definitely recommend checking out Fortaleza des Miguel. It's a truly unique and beautiful place that will give you an insight into the country's rich history. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Angola in 100 seconds. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you will be notified every time we upload a new video. And until next time, keep exploring. Goodbye.